Hey guys, tonight we're pulling an all-nighter on the graveyard shift, the kind where the coffee tastes like battery acid and every shadow looks like it's got a rap sheet. Rain needles the windshield of my cruiser, those slow, heavy drops that turn every streetlight into a smeared watercolor. The wipers thump in their tired rhythm, and the radio keeps humming that low, restless static, like someone breathing just out of reach. You probably won't make it to dawn after this one. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. Drop your location and local time in the comments. I always read them when the sun finally comes up, and I'm still trying to convince myself everything was just imagination. Now, dim the lights, maybe crack open a window for that midnight fog, and let's hit the streets together. It's a hair past 2 a.m. when dispatch crackles through the speaker, voice flat the way only night shift dispatchers get. Unit 4, respond to 1837, Elmwood Lane, possible 10 to 57. Caller reports crying inside the residence. Missing person call, rare this late, but not unheard of. I key the mic 4 en route, show me rolling. Elmwood Lane is on the edge of the Old Mill District, the part of town the city forgot when the factories shut down. I've driven it 1,000 times. Nothing there but boarded windows and burnt-out dreams. Except 1837 doesn't exist anymore. I remember the fire. Everyone does. 20 years ago this December, a 2-story colonial went up like a torch. Faulty wiring, they said. Whole family, mom, dad, little girl, never made it out. The lot's been chained off ever since. Just weeds and char marks where the foundation used to be. Yet the address is right there on my MDT screen, glowing green like it's daring me. The rain thickens as I turn onto Elmwood. My headlights catch the rusted no trespassing sign hanging crooked from a single nail. Beyond it, the chain-link fence is peeled back like someone curled it open with their bare hands. Fresh tire tracks cut through the mud, too narrow for a truck, too wide for a bike. I ease the cruiser through the gap, gravel popping under the tires. And there it is, the house. Not a ruin, not ashes. A perfect 2-story colonial, pale blue siding, white shutters, porch light glowing soft amber against the storm. The number 1837 is stenciled on the mailbox in the same curly font I remember from childhood photos in the newspaper. My skin goes cold, the kind of cold that starts behind the badge and spreads outward. I sit there idling, high beams carving tunnels through the rain. The smart thing would be to call it in, request backup, mark the address as impossible. But the porch light flickers once, almost like a wave, and the crying starts. Soft at first, then unmistakable. A child, hurt, scared, calling for someone who isn't coming. I kill the engine. The doors of the cruiser shut with that heavy Crown Vic thunk I've heard 10,000 times. But tonight it sounds final, like a coffin lid. My boots sink into the wet grass as I walk the flagstone path that shouldn't exist. The crying stops the moment my foot touches the first step. Silence rushes in so hard my ears pop. I sweep my flashlight across the porch. Fresh mud prints, small, bare feet, lead straight to the front door, hanging open 6 inches. The brass knocker is shaped like a lion's head, mouth frozen mid-roar. I push the door with 2 fingers. Hinges don't even creak. Someone oiled them recently. Inside smells like wet plaster and something sweeter underneath. Baby powder, maybe, or the ghost of it. My light slides over wallpaper with tiny yellow ducks marching in perfect rows. A child's raincoat hangs on a peg by the stairs, dripping onto the hardwood even though the roof overhead is bone dry. Police department, I call, voice steadier than I feel. Anyone here? Nothing answers except the tick-tick-tick of rain on the roof that shouldn't be there. I step deeper. The living room is furnished like 2003 never ended. Floral couch with plastic still on the armrests, boxy CRT television, framed family portrait above the mantel. Mom, Dad, little girl with pigtails clutching a stuffed rabbit. Their smiles look painted on now, too wide, too knowing. That's when I noticed the footprints again, mine crossing over a set that came in before me. Small prints, same bare feet, but these ones are wet with something darker than rainwater. They lead toward the kitchen. I follow because that's what we do. We follow. The kitchen light is on, one of those old fluorescent tubes that hums like an angry bee. On the table sits a single bowl of cereal. Silly Rabbit, the kind with the cartoon rabbit on the box. Milk still fresh enough that the marshmallows haven't bled color yet. A spoon rests beside it, handle pointed toward the back door like an arrow. I think some crimes were never meant to be solved. Some doors were never meant to be opened. But the crying starts again, upstairs this time, directly above my head. Small, lost, pulling at something older than training. I draw my sidearm, even though I know bullets won't help tonight. The staircase groans under my weight like it remembers every step the fire took. My flashlight finds crayon drawings taped to the wall, stick figure family holding hands under a yellow sun. One of the drawings has been colored over in frantic red. The little girl, eyes scratched out, mouth open in a perfect circle scream. Halfway up, the temperature drops so fast my breath fogs. The crying stops mid-sob, cut off like someone clamped a hand over the mouth that made it. At the top landing, for doors. 3 closed. One open just enough to spill a ribbon of pink light across the carpet. A mobile of paper butterflies turns slowly above the crib I can see inside, even though there's no breeze. I raise my Glock and push the door with my boot. The room is exactly as the old case file photos showed it. Pale pink walls, white rocker, alphabet blocks scattered across a rug printed with moons and stars. Except the little girl is sitting in the middle of it, back to me, pigtails damp and clinging to her neck. She's turning the stuffed rabbit in slow circles, whispering something I can't catch. I take one step inside. The door swings shut behind me without a sound. The click of the door ceiling is softer than a heartbeat, but it lands in my chest like a hammer. Pink light pulses from a nightlight shaped like a smiling moon, painting the room in slow, sickly waves. The little girl doesn't turn around. She just keeps rocking that rabbit, its one remaining eye a dull black button that catches the glow every time it spins. I lower my weapon a fraction. Sweetheart, my name's Officer Dan. Are you hurt? The rocking stops. The rabbit drops into her lap with a wet plop. When she finally turns, the first thing I notice is that her feet are caked in that same dark mud from downstairs, the kind that used to be the basement floor after the fire. The second thing is her eyes, milky, unfocused, the way eyes look when the soul's already checked out. She tilts her head. You're late, she whispers, voice layered like 2 recordings played over each other. One a child's, one something older, cigarette rough. Mommy said the police would come, but the fire came first. My throat closes. I know this girl. Emily Grace Harrow, age 7, DOB June 14th, 1996, deceased December 3rd, 2003. I read her file when I was still in the academy. It was required reading for arson investigation week. The photo they showed us was her school picture. Gap-toothed smile, purple barrettes. Same barrettes she's wearing now. Only one is cracked and blackened. I take a knee, slow, the way we're taught with scared kids. Carpet fibers cling to the damp on my pants. Emily, can you tell me what year it is? She smiles, and it's all the wrong angles. It's the night the lights went out. Behind her, the closet door eases open an inch. A sliver of absolute black leaks out, darker than any shadow has a right to be. My flashlight stutters when I swing it that way. The beam bends like it's hitting water. Emily stands. She's maybe 4 foot nothing, but the room feels smaller the longer she looks at me. "You have to find Mommy," she says. "She's still looking for me. She won't leave until someone tells her I'm gone." The temperature plunges again. Frost crawls across the inside of the window, even though it's 40 degrees outside. My radio, clipped to my vest, hisses once. Then a woman's voice, frantic, half swallowed by flame noise. "Emily, baby, where are you? Officer, do you have my daughter?" I rip the handset free. "Dispatch, this is Unit 4. Who the hell is on my frequency?" Only static answers, thick and wet, like breathing through a soaked towel. Emily walks past me. No, glides is the better word, and her bare feet don't quite touch the rug. She stops at the bedroom door, which is open again even though I swear it's shut. "Mommy's in the kitchen," she says without looking back. She always waits in the kitchen. I follow because refusal isn't an option anymore. Down the stairs, each step groans the exact same note it did going up, like the house is stuck on a looped recording. Halfway down, I catch our reflection in the hallway mirror. Me, soaked uniform, gun half raised, and Emily walking 2 steps ahead. Except in the mirror, she's not ahead. She's right beside me, hand resting on my elbow, even though I feel nothing. Her reflection smiles when I don't. We reach the kitchen. The cereal bowl is gone. In its place, a single Polaroid, fresh and glossy. I pick it up with 2 fingers. It's me, standing on the porch 10 minutes ago, flashlight under my chin like a kid telling ghost stories. The timestamp in the corner reads 2:17 a.m., the exact minute I pulled up. On the back, written in red crayon that still smells like wax, "He sees you now." Emily is suddenly on the counter, legs swinging. "Daddy's in the garage," she says conversationally. "He never came back inside after he smelled the smoke. He thinks if he keeps trying the car, he can still drive us away." I set the photo down like it's radioactive. "Emily, the house burned. All of you, you didn't make it out. I'm sorry." Her swinging stops. For a second, she looks like the 7-year-old in the academy file, just a scared kid. Then her mouth stretches too wide. "We know," she says, and the second voice underneath is her mother's, raw from screaming. "That's why we need you to finish it." The fluorescent light overhead flickers hard. When it steadies, Emily is gone from the counter. In her place sits the stuffed rabbit, now missing both eyes. Threads of black drip from the sockets like it's crying oil. I back toward the hallway, and my heel crunches on something. A child's plastic barrette, purple, cracked, and blackened. The twin of the one in Emily's hair. From the garage comes the slow, deliberate creak of a manual door rolling up. Metal grinding on metal that hasn't moved in 20 years. Then an engine tries to turn over. Once, twice. Dead battery cough. A man's voice, hoarse, pleading through the connecting door. "Lisa? Emily? Baby, get in the car. We have to go now." I raise my Glock with both hands, though I know how useless it is. The doorknob is already turning from the other side. I think some crimes were never meant to be solved. Some families were never meant to leave. The garage door explodes open and light pours in. Headlight beams cutting through swirling smoke that smells of melted plastic and scorched hair. A silhouette stands dead center, tall, faceless against the glare, arms outstretched like he's still reaching for children who are already ash. And from somewhere deeper in the house, Emily's voice drifts down the stairwell, soft and sing-song. "Tag. You're it, Officer Dan." My radio chooses that second to scream alive. Not dispatch, not any voice I recognize, just a long, childlike giggle looped over itself until it becomes something else entirely. I run, not toward the front door, toward the basement stairs I somehow know are behind the pantry. Because if this house is going to burn again, I'm not doing it on the ground floor. The last thing I see before I yank the basement door shut is the family portrait above the mantel. All three of them are looking straight at me now, and every single eye is a perfect, empty hole. The basement door slams behind me, and the sound is swallowed whole, like the house just closed its mouth. I'm on the landing, one hand clamped around my flashlight, the other white-knuckling the Glock. The stairwell smells of wet concrete and old smoke that never quite aired out. My boots find the steps by memory more than sight. Every precinct has a basement like this, but this one feels deeper, like it keeps digging itself while nobody's looking. 13 steps down. I count because cops count everything, and the temperature evens out to something colder than outside. My breath fogs in perfect rings that hang in the air too long before they break. The beam of my light lands on the fuse box first, lid hanging open, wires chewed through like rats with arsonist teeth. Someone wanted this place dark forever. I key my shoulder mic out of habit. Unit 4, Signal 8, need backup at static. Not the normal hash, but a low, wet churning, like a throat full of gravel trying to speak. Then it clears, just for a second, and a voice slides through. Badge 217, you left your porch light on. My badge number. My exact badge number. I freeze. The voice is male, mid-40s, the kind of comm you hear from hostage negotiators right before they lie. Except I've never heard it on this frequency. Channel 9 is the dead channel. Hasn't been used since the county switched to digital in 2011. Old-timers say it still carries bleed from the towers that burned, voices that never signed off. I thumb the mic again. Identify yourself. The laugh that answers is soft, intimate, like it's standing right behind my ear. You first, Danny. You tell me who you really are when the lights go out. The flashlight flickers. I smack it once. Old habit. And the beam steadies, but now it's tinged red, like I'm shining it through blood. The basement stretches farther than it should. Instead of the usual storage cages and dusty evidence boxes, there's a hallway. Cinder block walls painted that institutional green we stopped using in the 90s. A sign screwed above a steel door reads interrogation, authorized personnel only. I've never seen this door in any precinct in the county. The static on Channel 9 pulses like a heartbeat now. Underneath it, whispers stack on whispers. My mother's maiden name, the street I grew up on, the thing I did in 10th grade behind the bleachers that nobody ever found out about. Every secret laid out like Polaroids on a table. I take one step down the hallway. The floor is dry, but my boots leave wet prints anyway, dark, almost black. The smell hits me then. Kerosene and scorched hair, same as upstairs. The steel door is ajar. A sliver of fluorescent light cuts across the concrete, trembling like it's afraid to touch the dark. I push it with my shoulder. Inside is an interrogation room straight out of 1998. Gray table bolted to the floor, one-way mirror taking up half the wall, reel-to-reel recorder the size of a microwave. The red record light is on. A single cassette spins slowly, label written in faded marker. D. Read, March 14th, 1999. My father's name. My father's confession date. Drunk driving fatality, 1-count vehicular manslaughter. He died in county before trial. I was 9. The chair across the table is occupied. It's me. Not a twin, not a trick of the mirror. Me, exactly as I look right now. Uniform soaked, hair plastered from the rain, eyes red from too many midnights. Only this version of me is smiling like he's been waiting years for company. "Sit," he says, and his mouth doesn't move. I don't sit. I raise the Glock instead. "Who the hell are you?" The other me leans forward, elbows on the table. "I'm the part that stayed on the job when you went home and pretended none of it touched you. Every call you wrote off as kids messing around. Every body cam you turned off a second too early. Every time you looked the other way because solving it would have broken you." The reel-to-reel keeps spinning. My father's voice leaks out, tinny and drunk. "Tell my boy I didn't mean it. Tell Danny I'm sorry." I feel my knees buckle. The gun dips. The other me stands. His badge is polished to a mirror. In it, I see the basement hallway behind me. Only now Emily stands at the far end, holding her mother's charred hand. The father's silhouette fills the doorway, headlights for eyes. "You let the house burn again tonight," the other me says, voice gentle, almost kind. "You always do. That's why they keep calling you back." Channel 9 erupts in my earpiece. Every voice I ever failed. Every 10 to 57 I marked unfounded. Every suicide I cut down too late. They're all screaming my badge number in perfect unison. I back into the hallway. The steel door slams on its own. The fluorescent light overhead strobes once, twice, then dies. Darkness swallows everything except the red glow of the recorder behind me, pulsing like a dying star. I run. Not up the stairs I came down. Those are gone. Just a raw dirt wall where they used to be. The only way left is deeper, past flickering exit signs that bleed upward like they're drowning. My boots slap through ankle-deep water that wasn't there a second ago. Reflections ripple on the surface. Dozens of me, hundreds, all walking the same hallway in different years, different uniforms, same exhausted eyes. Somewhere in the dark, Emily whispers, "You can't arrest what's already dead, Officer Dan." I think some crimes were never meant to be solved. Some suspects were only ever mirrors. The hallway ends at an ancient wooden door with a brass knob shaped like a screaming mouth. Channel 9 goes quiet for the first time all night. In that silence, I hear my own heartbeat and something else answering it, one beat behind, like an echo learning to lead. I reach for the knob. The brass mouth is cold enough to burn. When my fingers close around it, every light I've ever known goes out at once. Not darkness, absence. Like someone unplugged the concept of sight. I'm blind, deaf to everything except my pulse and the soft click of the latch giving way. Then the lights come back, but wrong. I'm standing in the precinct basement evidence locker, the real one this time, or what's left of it. Rows of metal shelves, brown boxes sealed with red tape, the air thick with dust and mildew. Except the overhead bulbs are swinging like hanged men, and every box is labeled with my handwriting. Dates I recognize. Cases I closed. Cases I didn't. Room 217 is stenciled on the cinder block wall in dripping red paint that wasn't there yesterday. I know this room. Property clerks call it the black hole. Anything that goes in never comes out the same. Cold cases, cursed evidence, items judges ordered destroyed, but nobody had the guts to burn. I've dropped things off here before, always quick, always with the feeling I was being watched by whatever we locked away. Tonight the watching is mutual. The one-way mirror from the fake interrogation room is mounted on the far wall, floor to ceiling, still smeared with fingerprints that aren't mine. My reflection steps into view a half-second late, like bad satellite delay. It raises its hand when I don't. It smiles when I stop breathing. Between us, on a rolling cart, sits a single evidence bag. Inside, a child's purple beret, cracked and blackened. Tag reads Harrow, E. December 3rd, 2003. Next to it, a second bag I don't remember logging. A Polaroid of me asleep in my cruiser last week, taken from the passenger seat. No tag, just a post-it in my own handwriting. He's ready for you now. The mirror ripples. Not glass, water. My reflection sinks backward into it. Arms spread like it's falling into a pool. The surface bulges toward me, pregnant with something eager. I take one step back and my heel nudges a box on the floor. Lid's off. Inside are cassette tapes, hundreds of them, all labeled with dates and badge numbers. The one on top, read D. Tonight. I shouldn't, but my hand moves on its own. The moment my fingers touch the plastic, every bulb in the room bursts in sequence. Pop, pop, pop down the aisles, showering sparks that die before they hit the ground. Emergency lighting kicks in, blood red, the kind that makes corpses look peaceful under. In that light, the mirror is no longer a mirror. It's a window. On the other side, the interrogation room again, but packed shoulder to shoulder with suspects I never booked. The teenager from the rail bridge who swore the train spoke his name. The woman from the motel off I-65 who kept dialing 911 from a phone that had been disconnected since 1987. The John Doe we pulled from the river with no fingerprints and a smile carved ear to ear. All of them standing perfectly still, eyes forward, waiting for me to take a seat that isn't there. At the table sits Emily Harrow Colors with crayons that smoke. Each time she finishes a page, she holds it up to the glass. Stick figure me, on fire, holding hands with stick figure them. The reflection that isn't mine steps out of the mirror, bare feet on concrete, leaving no prints. It walks straight through the cart, through the evidence bags like they're fog, and stops an inch from my face. I smell ozone and baby powder. You keep looking in mirrors for answers. It whispers, breath colder than the room. But mirrors only show what's already behind you. It reaches past me and flips the light switch. The room goes black again, but this time I see everything. Every suspect who ever looked me in the eye and said, "You won't believe me," and was right. Every victim who reached for my hand and found it empty because I was writing the report in my head already. Every ghost I told myself was exhaustion. Every shadow I blamed on burnt-out streetlights. They're all here, pressed against the inside of my skin, waiting for permission to get out. The emergency lights flicker back. The mirror is just a mirror again, cracked down the middle like someone punched it from the other side. My reflection is alone now, but it's crying without moving its face. Tears cut clean trails through the dust on the glass. On the floor between us lies a new evidence tag. Blank. Pen clipped to it like an invitation. I pick it up. The moment I do, every box in the room sighs open at once. Tapes, photos, blood-stained clothes, children's shoes, Polaroids of crime scenes that haven't happened yet, all sliding out in slow motion, piling around my boots like floodwater. From the mirror comes Emily's voice, small and tired. "Your turn to confess, Officer Dan." I look at the blank tag, at the pen. I know what case number to write. I think some crimes were never meant to be solved. Some detectives were only ever evidence. The pen is already moving. I don't remember leaving the evidence locker. 1 second I'm holding the blank tag. The next I'm behind the wheel doing 60 on County Road 19, wipers fighting a rain that's falling upward in streaks. The dash clock reads 3:47 a.m. and refuses to change. My headlights keep catching the same mile marker, 42, over and over, like the road is a scratched record. Dispatch breaks the silence, voice calm, almost bored. Unit 4, respond to 1127 Oak Ridge Apartments, Building C, domestic in progress, female screaming. I've heard that call before. I've heard it 43 minutes ago, and 43 minutes before that. I key the mic for en route. My voice sounds like it's been dragged through gravel. I know what's waiting. I've seen it 4 times already tonight. Oak Ridge Apartments is a U-shaped complex built in the 70s, the kind of place where the hallways always smell like boiled cabbage and broken dreams. I park in the exact same spot, nose pointed toward the dumpster that hasn't been emptied since August. My boots hit the wet pavement at the exact same second they did the first loop. The rain even tastes familiar, metallic, like licking a battery. 3rd floor, apartment 12. Door already ajar. Inside, the television flickers with test pattern snow. A woman's voice begs, "Please, don't. Think of the kids." Then the meaty sound of a fist on flesh. I draw my sidearm and step inside. She's on the kitchen floor, late 20s, brunette, cheeks swelling purple. He's standing over her, 6'3", maybe 250, knuckles raw. Same scene, same dialogue, same everything. I've memorized it like a bad play. Police. Hands where I can see them. He turns, eyes glassy with whatever he's on tonight. This is between me and my wife, Pig. I've tried every approach. Talking him down. Taser. Baton. Shooting him center mass. Doesn't matter. 43 minutes later the call comes again, and she's bleeding fresh on the linoleum. This time I don't bother with words. I holster the Glock and walk straight past him. She looks up at me, mascara rivers down her face. "Help me," she whispers. I crouch beside her. "What's your name?" "Melissa." Her voice cracks. "Melissa Reed." "Reed. My last name." "Of course it is." Behind me, the husband raises his fist again. I don't turn around. I just reach out and touch Melissa's cheek where the bruise is blooming. The skin is warm, alive, real. She flinches, then leans into my palm like she's been waiting years for someone gentle. "I'm sorry," I tell her. The blow lands between my shoulder blades, knocks me forward. My forehead cracks against the cabinet. Blood in my mouth, copper and déjà vu. And reset. Back in the cruiser. 3:47 a.m. mile marker 42 sliding past again. Dispatch calling the exact same address. My ribs ache where he kicked me last loop, even though the bruise hasn't had time to form. I do it again. And again. 7th loop, I try arresting him clean. No injuries, perfect cuffs, Miranda word for word. 8th loop, I evacuate Melissa and the kids first, leave him raging alone. 9th loop, I burn the whole building down with a stove pilot and a can of cooking spray, thinking maybe fire is the only way out. Doesn't matter. The call always comes back. 15th loop, I sit in the cruiser and don't move. I let her scream until the screaming stops. When dispatch calls again, the voice is different. Emily's voice, small and disappointed. "You're not even trying anymore." 22nd loop, I walk into apartment 12 with my gun already out and put 2 in his chest before he can raise a fist. Melissa stares at the body, then at me, and for one impossible second the clock ticks to 3:48. Real time. Forward motion. Hope flares so bright it hurts. Then the room folds in on itself like wet paper, and I'm sliding backward through the door, through the hallway, through the parking lot, tires squealing in reverse until I'm parked again at mile marker 42 and the clock snaps back to 3:47. This time when dispatch calls, the voice is mine. Older, tired, coming from a throat that screamed itself raw. "Unit 4, she's waiting. You know what you have to do." I drive slower this loop. Let the rain soak the uniform. At the apartment, I don't go inside. I stand under the busted security light and watch the 3rd floor window. Melissa appears there, silhouetted, pressing her palm to the glass. She mouths something I can read from 3 stories down. "Help me." I raise my hand, mirror her palm against the night air between us. Then I walk back to the cruiser, open the trunk, and take out the evidence bag I apparently logged sometime between loops. One duty Glock, serial number filed off, one round in the chamber. I've never seen this gun before. I also know exactly how it feels in my hand, because this is the loop where I stop being the responder and become the call. I think some crimes were never meant to be solved. Some officers were only ever the next victim in line. I climbed the stairs one last time. The door to apartment 12 is closed now, but the knob turns before I touch it. Melissa stands there alone. No husband, no blood, just her, eyes clear, holding out her hand. "I knew you'd come back," she says, and her voice is every woman I ever failed to save. "It's okay. This time you don't have to choose." She steps aside. On the kitchen table, a single chair facing the window. My service weapon is already there, magazine removed, one bullet spinning slowly on the formica like a coin deciding heads or tails. The clock on the microwave reads 3:46 and counts down. I sit. The chair is cold against my back, the kind of cold that remembers every body that ever sat here waiting for morning. Melissa stands behind me, hands resting on my shoulders like a wife who's forgiven too much. The bullet keeps spinning, catching the flicker of the television snow, throwing tiny white shards across the wall. 3:45 now. Counting down. I pick up the round. It's warm, like it's been carried close to someone's heart for years. My initials are scratched into the casing, DR. The engraving is fresh, metal still bright where the tool bit in. I never scratched my initials on ammunition in any life I remember. Melissa leans close, breath against my ear. "You're almost done," she whispers, and it's Emily's voice layered underneath, and my mother's, and every victim who ever looked at me and asked why I was too late. Just one more call to answer. The apartment around us is peeling away in strips. Wallpaper curling like burning paper, ceiling sagging into black sky. Only the table and the chair and the gun remain solid. The rest is the house on Elmwood Lane burning again, the precinct basement flooding with reflection water, the evidence mirror cracking into a screaming mouth. I slide the bullet into the magazine. It seats with a click that echoes like a gavel. Outside the window, dawn should be bruising the horizon purple, but the sky stays the color of old bruises that never healed. Streetlights blink in sequence, then hold steady on red. Every traffic signal in the city frozen at stop. Time isn't looping anymore. It's stalled, engine flooded, waiting for me to turn the key one last direction. My radio, dead for hours, crackles from the counter. Not dispatch, not Channel 9, just breathing. Slow, patient, the way a partner breathes when he's standing behind you with cuffs and doesn't want to spook you. Unit 4, my own voice says from the speaker, thin and stretched like it's coming from the bottom of a well. "Open the trunk." I laugh once, a dry bark that tastes like blood. Already did. Not that trunk. The apartment door is gone. In its place, the open trunk of my cruiser, parked right in the living room where the couch used to be. Interior light glowing soft orange, the color of a dying night light. Something shifts inside, fabric rustling against carpet fibers that aren't there. I stand. The chair scrapes backward exactly 43 minutes worth of distance and stops. Melissa kisses the top of my head like a mother sending a child off to the first day of school that never ends. "You kept us waiting so long," she says. "Be gentle with yourself." I walk to the trunk. Inside is a body bag, standard black vinyl, zipper already halfway down. The shape beneath is mine. Same height, same build, same soaked uniform. The face is turned away, but I can see one hand resting on its chest, fingers curled around a badge polished to a mirror. I reach for the zipper. The hand moves first. turns palm up in silent invitation. I understand then. This is the final evidence transfer. I'm not here to arrest anyone tonight. I'm here to clock out, to take my place in the locker with the rest of the things we couldn't burn, couldn't bury, couldn't forgive. The radio voice sighs, almost proud. Good work, officer. Shift's over. I climb in. The vinyl is warm, smells faintly of baby powder and gun oil. As I lie back, the cruiser's trunk lid lowers on its own, slow and respectful, the way we close a casket when the family's already left the room. Darkness, perfect and complete. Then a soft click, and the interior light comes back, just enough to see. The other me is sitting up now, wearing my skin like a perfectly tailored suit. He zips the bag from the inside, sealing me in with the gentleness of someone tucking in a child afraid of nightmares. Through the thickening vinyl, I hear the driver door open, seat creak, engine turn over once and catch. The cruiser pulls away smooth, tires hissing on wet pavement that might be roads, might be years. Melissa's voice, distant now, through the radio speaker mounted somewhere above my head. 10 to 98. Officer needs assistance. No further units required. The car turns left onto a road that doesn't appear on any map. I feel the shift change settle over the city like a blanket pulled up to the chin. I think some crimes were never meant to be solved. Some shifts were only ever meant to end this way. The trunk smells like rain and cedar and something almost like peace. I close my eyes. The cruiser drives on, headlights cutting clean white tunnels through a fog that finally feels like home. And now the city's quiet. Really quiet. The kind of quiet you only get after a long, hard rain when every siren has gone home and even the dogs stopped barking at shadows. I'm parked somewhere familiar. Maybe the overlook above the river. Maybe the empty lot where the old precinct used to stand before they tore it down for condos nobody could afford. Engines off. Windows cracked just enough for the night air to drift in, cool and clean, carrying that after-storm smell of wet leaves and possibility. The radio is silent for the first time in years. No static, no bleed, no small voices asking why no one came. Just the soft tick of cooling metal and wind moving through the open files on the passenger seat. Pages fluttering like birds that finally learned how to leave the cage. I check the rear view out of habit. Nothing back there but an empty trunk and a folded evidence bag that wasn't there yesterday. Or maybe it was. Time feels